Hi babies! So, for those of you who are transitioning alongside me, or who have perhaps already transitioned, you know that transitioning comes with its hardships. It comes with its challenges and its downsides. There are many days of tears and sorrow, but it's not all bad. So I thought I'd make a little video, my top 5 favourite things about transitioning, because it has its upsides too. These are in no particular order, they're just the top 5 things that came on the top of my head, things that I actually like about transitioning, but they're in no particular order. Number 1. Shedding toxic masculinity. This one won't be relatable to everybody, because not everybody suffered from toxic masculinity. However, I did. I was a toxic male. Toxic masculinity had a strong grip on me in the past before I transitioned. When you're in that world, and when you're oozing toxic masculinity, you're sort of trapped to view the world and view masculinity in a very narrow light. You have a very narrow viewpoint of the world at large, and you sort of get trapped in a cycle, because the toxic masculinity makes you really bitter, but then you being the toxic male puts you in situations or creates situations that just makes everything rightfully go wrong for you. I mean, if you're a toxic male, things shouldn't go right for you. So it is right that things go wrong for you. But when you're a toxic male, you don't know that you are. That's the thing. You don't know that you have this toxic masculinity, and so when things are going wrong for you, and you're blaming everybody else, and blaming the world, and blaming this and blaming that, and instead of looking inwards, that creates more bitterness. So you're trapped in this cycle of being a toxic male, and then becoming bitter, and becoming more toxic because of that, and then becoming more bitter. It just turns you into an awful, hateful person, and it turns the good people around you against you, and it turns the bad people around you into your friends, like fellow toxic males, and you sort of get sucked in to this social group of the worst people, and again you get trapped in a cycle, because now you're in an echo chamber with all these other toxic males bouncing viewpoints off each other, bouncing opinions off each other, and that sort of solidifies in you, and it's really hard to shed that once you're in there. Transitioning saved me from that. It shed all that away, because when I transitioned, I gained things like empathy and the ability to self-reflect, see where I was going wrong. It just gives you the emotions and feelings that you need to deal with this in a mature, grown-up way, rather than lashing out and being angry at the world. I would never want to go back to my old self, or the way my old self was trapped in this kind of environment. I'm glad transitioning sort of sucked me out of it. So shedding toxic masculinity is definitely one of my favorite things about transitioning. I'm a much happier person now. I'm more carefree, I'm more caring, and more loving, and I'm more attentive. I listen to people more. I think about their needs more, and I think that shows in the friends I've made over the past year. I've made some amazing friends who are really good people, who I definitely would not have made had I still been my old self. I'd have still been hanging around with my old crowd, toxic incels angry at the world because of their own problems that they've created themselves, but just aren't ready to admit it yet because of their toxic masculinity. You see, I escaped that, but I still have, they're not really friends anymore, but I have one or two who I do count as friends still-ish. And they're still trapped in that world and that cycle. And I've tried talking to them. I've tried getting them to think. But they're just not ready. Maybe they should transition. Which brings me to number 2. A whole new world to explore. And seeing the other side of the gender spectrum, or seeing things from the other sex's point. Tying into number 1 a little here, going back to that narrow viewpoint, that narrow world view. When you transition, it opens up an entire new world at your fingertips to explore. And not only that, because previously you've only had male socialization, well, now you're undoing that. Now you're actively undoing your male socialization and re-socializing as female. And you just start seeing the world in such a different way, and you start seeing people in such a different way. It's such a huge new world to explore, and you see the way guys see. I still don't pass. Especially my voice. I still don't pass. But in some of my pictures, I'm sort of crossing that line into sort of pretty sometimes. And those pictures that I have on social media, it attracts guys in DMs, of course. And you sort of see the way guys interact with you as a girl, as opposed to how guys interact with you as a guy. The difference is so fascinating and so vast sometimes. And you think of it, oh my god, did I used to be like this with girls? It's not all good though, it's not all good. Like, I'm scared to walk home at night in the dark now. I never used to. Estrogen's made me such a weakling. I can't even open a freaking pickle jar these days. So walking home at night is kind of scary. But overall, it's quite a positive, fun experience, seeing things from the other side, re-socializing as female. It's a really fun ride. It can be overwhelming sometimes because there's no instruction manual. Like there's no instruction manual of how to undo male socialization and re-socialize as female. There's just no manual for it. It's just something you have to do yourself, and you have to let come naturally. Seeing the world through the eyes of the opposite sex is definitely another of my favourite parts of transitioning. It really is like an entirely new world to explore, and seeing the way people interact with you as a girl as opposed to how they used to interact with you is really fun and interesting sometimes. Number 3, sexual liberation. As a guy, especially if you was a straight guy, you're actually quite sexually repressed. The average normal straight guy is very sexually repressed. They're scared to try this in case it makes them gay. They're scared to try that in case it makes them gay. They can't do this because it's gay. They can't do that because it's gay. They can't show feelings because it's gay. You see what I mean? They're so trapped in this teeny tiny little box. What a sad little existence straight guys live. But when I started transitioning, I just felt free of all that. I was free to explore. I was free to try new things, and it's so exciting. You're not trapped in this teeny tiny little box anymore that you're not allowed to stray outside because it makes you unmasculine or whatever. Now I don't have to worry about my masculinity. I don't care if something is wrong or makes you look gay. I have a boyfriend now, when I used to only have girlfriends. And I can't wait until me and my boyfriend are together and trying all these new things. Especially since he's gay. he is actually gay, so he doesn't care about if something makes him look gay. Yes, he is gay. So imagine all the things we're gonna try together and explore together. My gay little femboy. So transitioning has made sexuality more fluid, much more open. I mean, I used to only date girls, just girls. That's it. Now, you know, I'll date girls, I'll date guys, I'll date trans girls, I'll date femboys. It doesn't matter to me. So my dating pool is quadrupled, and in the bedroom itself, I don't care if something, you know, I don't care if I'm not into something or if something makes me uncomfortable or anything like that. Now I'll pretty much try anything once, almost anything to do with poop. Get out of here. Disgusting. Ew. But pretty much I'll pretty much try almost anything once. I couldn't say that a couple of years ago when I was just a normal straight guy. So sexual liberation, yeah, number 3, definitely. Number 4, clothes and makeup. Okay, this one's kinda sexist or misogynist or whatever. I don't care. As a normal straight guy, what do you wear? What do you wear? Jeans and a t-shirt. You know, that's it. I'm transitioning. I'm wearing eyeliner right now. I play with eyeliner and I play with concealer and I got my eyebrows done. I've had a lash lift and tint. Yeah, I've got painted nails. My nails are painted red at the minute. I wear skirts at home. I don't wear skirts in public yet because I don't want to be assaulted and stabbed. But I do wear them at home. I wear skirts and nice tops, and I've ordered a new dress. A nice red dress. Again, like, you know, I'm a straight guy, you know, I can't wear eyeliner because it's gay. I can't get my eyebrows done, they'll look gay. Again, this won't be relatable to everybody because people were more liberated beforehand, but I come from a tiny countryside village in Yorkshire, right? We live in the 1800s here, so I had to put on a masculine, traditional Yorkshire guy front. Okay, I had to wear a mask all my life. It was very painful. But now I don't care. I can play with makeup and I can wear cute girl clothes. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favourite parts of transitioning. You know, the dopamine hit I get from shopping now is crazy. I used to get a dopamine hit from beating people in games or drugs. And now I get it from shopping for skirts. And number 5, seeing your progress. Now, this one can actually be kind of painful at times because hormones, they work so slow. They're so painfully slow. But then one day when you take a picture and you look at your picture and you go, oh my god, look at the changes. They happen so slow, but also they happen so suddenly at the same time. It's so weird. One day you'll just look at a picture and go, wow, I almost look like a girl there. And the butterflies you get from that, and when you keep those pictures and take another one several months further down the line and see the more changes, seeing your progress like that, it feels so good. The euphoria you get from it, it's pretty much on par with it's pretty on par with the MDMA. Hi. I love seeing my progress from last year to now. With my recent changes, I'm actually excited to see the future. I can't wait to see what I look like next year. And I'm currently saving up at the minute for facial feminization surgery because, you know, I'm not delusional. I'm not delusional. I know I'm never going to pass on hormones alone. I'm going to need a brow shave, definitely, a nose job, maybe some chin work. I'm definitely going to need a tracheal shave. I'll probably go for a facelift and a brow lift as well, just to get some youthfulness back. just to top it off. So I'm not delusional about that. I'm gonna need some surgery. But I'm actually excited about it now, and I can't wait for the future. And same with boobies. You know, I used to be terrified of having boobies. I didn't want them. Because it's like, well, how am I going to hide them? How am I going to hide them? But now I have them. I love them. I'm literally groping them all the time. I will sit here and I'll just look down and I'll see my boobies and I'll be like, oh, I've got boobies. And start groping them. I do it in the shower too. It never gets old to me looking down and my God, I've got boobies. When did they grow? Grope, honk, 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 honk. The senior progress is really uplifting. It reminds you of why you're transitioning and just gives you that little boost you need to look forward to the future. So it's definitely one of my favourite parts of transitioning, although sometimes it can be painfully slow. Okay, so those were my top 5 favourite parts of transitioning. Were they any of yours? Do you have any others? Put them in the comments and let me know. Thank you to my lovely patron Kosmo. I hope you have a lovely summer, my friend, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Zippity.